awaken their feminine aspect within them, they must stand beside women who will speak out. Yeah. So, but thank you, Nana. That was an amazing presentation. You know, how you introduced me, and I don't know what to say after all of that. I decided to use some visuals so that we could experience, you know, some of the things that we were talking about. And I did want to begin the presentation by acknowledging and recognizing our relatives, the Seminole people of this land on which we're gathering today and on which many of you may work and play. We want to also honor and pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and all the elders who are here with us today. Also, I wanted to make sure that I pay my respect to all of you. I also want to thank Nana Mina and the Wawa Abba Wellness for inviting us to share what I'm calling the rising of the divine feminine and the crossing of the bridge of truth to trust for us because of our historical experience. Truth is of utmost importance, and nothing can happen unless there is that truth. So if we can go to the next slide. Oh, now we can go. That was just the title. And at the bottom it says, may we remember, may we heal together, and step into the wholeness of the divine feminine and divine masculine. This is a quote from Doctora Rocio Rosales Mesa. And that's important, and I wanted to put it there because you can't heal the divine feminine without healing the divine masculine. They must happen together. It's not related to gender, and I think that that's also something for me it's important for us to understand. The divine feminine and the divine masculine, from the perspective of our teachings, are spiritual energies that must be brought into the balance so that life itself can coexist, because those spiritual energies come from creation. In our creation story, it says the cosmic mother had already created all of the planets, all of the galaxies, and she realized that there was something missing. And so she gathered all the elements of creation, and from her was born the sacred twins. Guacad was given the gift to awaken the evolution of the people. He's the one, and we see him at first with a little hatchet. You didn't build your house right, so he'll tap you on the head to remind you must maybe add a few more sticks, or you must add a few more. But if you don't listen, Guacal will continue. His hatchet gets bigger, his macana gets bigger and bigger until you get the big slam down. And Guacad was given the gift to awaken life, to awaken all the life on the planet, to awaken Grandmother Moon and Grandfather Sun from the caves in which Mother Earth had already, Cosmic Mother had already created them, and to bring us out from darkness. Because from part of our story is that we lived below in darkness, and we would only come out during certain times of the day, not all the time. So it's important, at least from our perspective, to understand that those are spiritual energies and they're not related to gender. They are really characteristics of the mother, of the sun, and parts of creation. So here, leave it there. I just wanted to, quickly see what does the divine feminine mean to us or to you all? What does that mean when you hear that concept of divine feminine and masculine?
Nurturing.
Yeah. Maybe this will help you. Think about what Mother Earth provides for her children.
Safe space.
Yeah.
Reproduction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shelter and beauty.
Absolutely. Yeah. So those are the characteristics. Is that related just to me as a woman?
No.
So that's something a man can do, right?
Yes.
Okay. What are some of the characteristics that we just associate blindly with men?
Strength. Force.
Yeah. I didn't hear that.
She said protection.
Protection.
Money, prosperity, security, providing.
How many women in here are single mothers? How many of you have raised your children or your families on your own? So is prosperity and what was the other one that you said?
Security.
Security or money just a male characteristic?
No.
Yeah. Is protection, what won't you do as a woman here to protect your child? There have been women who have lifted a vehicle off of their child because it was in danger. So is strength something that's only a characteristic of males?
No.
Yeah. So we're getting to understand that we have both of those in us, right? And it's in that balance, when those things are balanced, that's when we are closest to being the ambassadors of Mother Earth and Grandfather Sun, the males, right? Because we are walking in their image. We are walking in their balance. We are walking as creation was meant to be something that is giving and taking, and it's rhythmic, it's cyclical, right? There's a rhyme and reason for everything that happens not only in the universe but on this planet. And everything that happens on this planet, since we come from Mother Earth, happens to us. Are we not getting sicker because the Earth is getting sicker?
Yes.
So we're not separate from it. And men are getting just as equally sick as women. So it's not about gender. Can I, yeah, if she shows me what button I can press it.
I can help you.
Okay.
This next now, the arrow down? Oh, okay. I was gonna do arrow down.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, here is just kind of a recap of what we just said. Those are spiritual energies and they're meant to coexist, but they're meant to support life, right? They're not meant to destroy life. The ones who are helping the elements or contributing to the destruction of life are the two-legged, the human beings that are out of balance, right? And here is just what we said before. Feminine spiritual energies are the qualities of the Mother Earth, but we both inhabit them. The masculine energy from the perspective of our teachings are the qualities that are related to the sun. Maybe you can show me how to do it so that we can go through this.
We need a clicker. Next time, trust,
Yes,
we're gonna have
trust
a
and
clicker.
believe. Right? We're gonna have a clicker. Okay. And these are some of the things that you all mentioned when we talked about what does Mother Earth represent nurturing, loving, evolving, existing. She exists in cycles, but she's also fierce because she's going to defend and protect her creation, because what she seeks, just as we as mothers and fathers seek, is for the life that we give to our children flourishes and evolves and grows, right? And is the most positive thing that could happen for them. Let's see if I can remember. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So we see that the divine feminine, or the energy really that the Earth Mother represents, is for life, for all of creation, right? And here we compare the masculine energy. I found it interesting that Nana Kofi, talked about the sun, but we see it in a different way. So it's just a different perspective. We see that the males harness or represent the energy of the sun, because the sun provides all of the energy that the planets need to do their orbiting, right? But the sun doesn't impose, and he doesn't withdraw his energy from those planets if they don't spin in a particular way. He's just there. He's providing. And he's allowing for each and every one of those planets to evolve as they need to evolve and as they see fit. And so we connect that to the male that's going to provide that and allow each of the members of that family to evolve in the way that is best for them. If we lived in villages, right, which we don't, unfortunately, I'm trusting we'll get back to that, the children would be able to flourish because they would be able to go wherever their mission was. So if their mission was to be a person of medicine, they would be drawn to the medicine people, and the medicine people would take them in, and they would teach them. If they were drawn to those who did the planting and they would be drawn there, and they would take them under their wing, and they would teach them. If they were to be tequinas, which are teachers of the history, they would be taken under their wing, and they would hear the stories, and they would be given an opportunity to repeat them in the areto so that their memories became strong. So in that context, that's how we see the sun. The sun just keeps things moving. He brings light, he brings warmth, and for us, the sun is the heart of creation, so he brings love. And so these are the kinds of characteristics that we say represent the males, the energy, no? Oh, okay. I said, oh, I lost something here. Oh. Uh-oh, what happened?
Number 8.
Play a video?
Yeah.
That is embedded in your presentation?
Yes.
Yeah, it was when we played it, right?
Last night.
So now I don't know what happened.
So it's because it's a PDF.
Oh, no.
PDF?
You uploaded I didn't send you a PDF.
No, you didn't. I put it in the transcript.
Oh.
Sorry, let me see if I can pull it up again.
And I don't have my computer.
Is it on YouTube?
No, I don't remember if it was on YouTube now. Yeah. This is, the reason why I chose this clip is because this was done by the young people, and that is their response to the lies the awakening up to the lies. And this shows the coming of Columbus to our lands. And it shows the brutality of that coming of this bearded, strange person to our lands. And it shows our response, and it shows the second invasion of our territory by the United States. And the, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. It shows the second invasion to our lands by the United States under the lie that they were coming to help us get the Spaniards out from under us, right? Big lie, big time lie. They stayed to take over and pillage and rape and steal what they could. And they're still there, and they're still stealing. And the response of the young people has been to defend the lands, to defend the beaches, and you would have seen scenes of them defending the land, standing up for the beaches, standing up for life. So you'll see a group of young children in that. And in the end, you see clips. And in one of them says, "This is the real First World War. This is the real First World War." And then they show little clips where they say, "We will win 100 times for the earth. We will win 100 times for the water. We will win 100 times for life." And I wanted to share that with you because it's a very powerful presentation that they made. Although with a little bit of electric guitar, but it shows how they're bringing in their new knowledge, their new expressions, right? So I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to see that. I hope that isn't the case for all of them. This was supposed to be kind of like an interactive where after seeing, because it's pretty graphic, the scenes that are shown, it shows our ancestors getting stabbed, it shows our ancestors being hung, it shows our ancestors being burned, it shows them carrying the cross and committing these atrocities in the name of their God. So they're very strong images. And so this was just to see, right? And I'm sure all of us here can identify with some aspects of the experience that we encountered as a people, and the importance of us taking back our story. Yes. See, not allowing the colony to tell our story. We are telling our story. We are telling our truth. And we are demanding, right, that this is acknowledged. We are the first peoples of that land. Our ancestors were the first ones to spill blood for the self-determination that all nations fight for today, because they were the first to encounter these brutal, inhuman peoples, right? So I don't know if anybody wants to share any kind of a way that they identify with this kind of experience.
Before I share though, I have one. I just want to, first of all, I really want to thank you very much.
Come.
So that our online folks can hear you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mama Swavy, thank you so much. We have to get up so many times, but we thank you.
She said I was going to be running up and down. Remember? First of all, I just want to thank you for sharing. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for sharing. There's something you said that just want to have clarity on.
Mhm.
So, women identify with the earth because we give birth.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're attaching it to a gender,
Okay.
which is women. And you're right, as the gender or the manifestation of a woman, what is, right? We are the vessels of, right, the ones who are going to give birth to the spirits that we call down, right? Yeah. But no, in terms of what that means with regard to characteristics. Mother Earth is much more than that, right? She not only births, she provides, she nourishes, she protects.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so difficult for me to understand that.
It is a difficult
Very difficult
concept.
for me to understand that. So, because I was now going to look at the sun that I want to say identify with male, so
Yeah.
males. And then you said that the sun gives, and it stands there, doesn't interfere. So I immediately start thinking about man and woman,
Mhm.
you know, that
Yeah.
am I to think that a man is just going to stand there and does not interfere with it?
No, no. When I said it's just there, is that he's going to provide everything that he can. And that's what the sun does,
Okay.
right? Without imposing and saying, okay, I am going to provide you with love, but you have to do this.
Okay.
Or if you are going to be my wife, then you must abide by these rules.
Okay.
The sun or that energy says we are a partnership.
Thank you for that.
We are a sacred trust, right?
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing up that for me.
Okay.
With regards to, I like to read, and I read a lot in slavery and what our people have passed through. And my last read was a few months ago. I just finished a book on that. And one of the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to look at those who have enslaved and abused us. I wanted to read something on them to say, what are they thinking? You know, what are their thoughts? Can they even think about it?
Yeah.
But I want to speak of a particular passage that I've read in this book, and it talks about how this gentleman who have gotten himself freed from slavery, and he was telling his story how he saw his aged mother being whipped by a slave master. And it was so graphic for me just reading it, where she did something in the field and the slave master stopped her and she wouldn't, or whatever. But the image that was painted was as the slave master whipped her, how her skin moves under the whip,
Yes.
and not just the whipping that was so atrocious, but the fact that he lifted her skirt up in the presence of her son and the entire community to see.
Yeah.
So the beating was terrible. But to devalue another human being,
Yes.
you know, and sometimes I walk away with that, and as you were speaking, that was something that came to me. And it's very, very hard to swallow. And I know I try my best to practice extreme forgiveness, which is a very difficult thing to do, but we know we have to at some point, you know. But and I felt like I was there.
Yes. Yes. It's in your DNA. It's in our DNA. That's why when we see these things, we can feel them. They are written on our DNA. And that's why as we go through, for me, for us, right? As we go through the process. No, thank you. Beautiful, great questions, hard ones, but good ones. I appreciate that. It shows us that as we go through this healing, we will begin to erase that from our DNA for future generations. Huh? It will become faded and faded upon our DNA. So our work is so important when we think of it within that context, that we're healing for us, we're healing for the planet, we're healing for the earth, and we are healing for our past, present, and future. Past, present, and future. I was given a song to sing to heal. And I get emotional because I still feel it. My ancestors and all they went through. How they would cut their buttocks open, put them over a fire, and after they had starved the dogs for days and days, they set them loose to feed upon them. And once those dogs were satisfied, then the fires were set ablaze, all in front of the village. This is what will happen to you too. So that's in our DNA, right? And we must begin to heal that. But not just the only way I can explain it, I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but is like in a new agey way. You know, the new agey way. They learn to they say, well, they walk upon the earth, right? And they're grounding. But did it ever occur to them to leave an offering? In gratitude? No. Because they don't understand. They don't understand our ways. They try to mimic them. But absence of understanding. And so as we do this work, we have to ask those hard questions. And we have to share. And I'm so grateful for the sister because I could see the pain in her face. And I share it. We have to do this work with each other and for each other. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to speak to something that is taking place in the country now.
Mm-hmm.
And as I listened to the sister speak, and I saw how what she read moved her,
Yeah.
I realized even more so why it is that the people, the majority colonizers don't want their children to learn the truth about who they are.
Yeah.
This is why they're making such a fuss about them not being able to study the history in the schools. Why they're saying we can't teach anything that is going to be upsetting to people. Because the humanity in us is going to respond to the atrocities. And they realize that the human part of the children will be touched. And their children will not be able to go out and do the things that they want them to do once their humanity has been touched.
It's difficult, and I do, or I used to, I do it less now, I think. I used to try to wrap my mind around what must have been going through these people's mind. But I've stopped less, I'm not considering that so much now because all I have to do is look at their history and see the atrocities they committed against each other. To know that they had already lost their humanity. They called us savages, but I think they were seeing a reflection of themselves, So I've stopped because it's a painful thing, because I can't, as much as I try. to wrap my mind around what is going on or what, what goes on in this mind. I can't. That's not what's in our DNA. That's not what's in our DNA. So I think I'm up out of time, but I wanted to close with, I had a couple of other things I think you would have enjoyed seeing. There's a song that's called We Are No Longer Standing in Fear. And it's a response to something that was brought up about the missing and murdered women and girls, and the brutality, right, that we're still seeing because we're still not considered, women of color are still not considered human beings, really. Or we wouldn't be facing the atrocities that we still continue to face today. And what is so beautiful about that song is, it is women of all color singing this song about, we will not tolerate this anymore. If they touch just one of us, just one more of us, we will all respond. We are holding you to justice, right? And so for me, healing that side of me, healing that pain of the rape of my grandmothers and the brutality that was reaped upon them, is also then standing up today using my voice, right? To say, no, if you touch her, I'm gonna respond. We are all gonna respond. If you touch her, if you touch my child, we are all gonna stand up and we're gonna hold you accountable. The time to, get away with it is over, And so what it's showing in the last little video I was gonna show you was the female rising. And I think we can see the female rising in women, but also in men. We see the men are there standing behind, alongside, and in front of us, helping us to move our voices forward in such a nurturing way. And that's in part what that video showed, was how all of these beautiful young men, and you see they're holding the babies now to their bare chest. This is something men didn't do before. You see them staying home and taking care of their children because that's his energy. He's the nurturer. She's the leader, the go-getter, I'm going to go out and make, a life for us, money for us. So, and it's good. It's a good balance. Yeah. So that was the last slide, actually, or a little bit about that last slide, that last video I wanted to share with you. But I appreciate your attention, and I really appreciate the invitation here, and I trust that we can continue this work. So important. And I'd like to see our daughters here, our little ones, right? So that we can uplift them and help them to get their voices so that they can, speak out when some pedophile is trying to hurt them. They can have the confidence and the knowledge that somebody's going to respond. If they say, help, right, that people aren't going to just walk away from them. So let's give them that security and that safety. So, Taino, thank you.